I have been playing entirely far too much Knockout Tour in Mario Kart World. Way too much. But, with that being said, I've learned the game to a decent extent, and if you're struggling with either your first time playing, or if you're struggling to get to that next VR goal, I know I am, I got some simple, easy little things that you can do to help you out. But before we get into it, if you wouldn't mind going down, doing the YouTube pleasantries, it would help out a lot. Alright, let's get into it. First off, this is something that I have to constantly remind myself to do, so I put it on the list even though it's a very simple and obvious thing. On your nice Switch Pro controller, or Joy-Cons, yes, this is a Switch 1 controller. I didn't bother paying $80 for a brand new controller when I have several that work. You got this nice X button right here. You know what it does when you press that? It lets you see behind you. Now that might sound very simple and silly, but oftentimes there is more threats behind you than there are in front of you. So you gotta watch your six. That's what I'm calling this. Watch your six. Next, there's a lot of times where you're running towards the end gate, you're 1 or 2 positions behind, you have no items left. What can you do to clutch up at the end? Well, you can get a draft. There's been a lot of times in my playing the games where I have barely clutched out a checkpoint by getting a draft. So get out your drafting paper, get out your pencils, maybe boot up a CAD, your favorite CAD program, and get to drafting. The next thing, very simple, stay out of the pack. Whether that's in front of the pack or behind it. Now, certain legs and certain tours favor either front running or bagging, right? I find that especially in the early rounds, bagging feels very strong, and in the later rounds, front running feels strong. But either way, staying out of the middle of the pack where all the chaos is happening, always nice. It's nice not getting hit by just random things. Our next tip is evasive maneuvers.
Do a barrel roll!
You know how I mentioned earlier you can clutch gates by getting drafts? Well, if you don't want to be clutched upon and instead get robbed of gates, one thing you can do is take evasive maneuvers. This basically comes down to driving not in a straight line, driving in unpredictable patterns. This also helps with getting sniped by things like green shells and flowers. I'm probably forgetting something else. Boomerangs, you get what I mean. Items that people throw at you that aren't red shells, right? You can also do things where you take routes that are probably the optimal routes, but they kind of get you away from the pack. I think one of the examples of what's actually the optimal route that people just aren't doing yet, so people don't take the line normally, is at the beginning of... Which rally is it at the beginning of? Hang on. There's a bit at the beginning of the Acorn Rally where you're basically in sort of this man-made valley. What that valley is for, I will leave up to your imagination. Anyways, you can drive, most people, what they tend to do is just drive right down the middle. But what I actually find is the optimal way, go up on the right side at first. There's some little pipes you can trick off of, but that's not the important bit. Take a very tight turn to the right, go down through the middle, go up on the left side, take a very tight left turn. You don't get a ton of coins or items this way, but I've found that just doing this alone basically guarantees your spot in the next gate. I don't know why people aren't doing these lines yet. I mean, I guess it's like day 3 or 4 of the game, so people may not have figured it out yet, but do those lines. Very, very good lines. They also, at least for now, keep you out of the pack. And there's a bunch of things you can do with that. There's things like going on rails or, you know, just different alternate paths that you can go down that are on a bunch of different legs. Our last one I have titled Know When to Hold 'em, Know When to Fold 'em, and Know When to Walk Away. Basically, this is item management. Know when to hold them. You can get a really good double box set early in the round. Maybe you get a golden and triple mushrooms, right? Or some combination of items. I don't know what I'm going to be able to scrounge up in the footage that I find. But anyways, you get 2 really good items. And like, oh, there's that massive shortcut right over there. Well, if it's too early in the leg, I'm calling each bit between the checkpoints legs, because I don't know what else to call them. If it's too early in that leg, it might not be worth using your items. It might be worth it to hold them for later on, and then do a big push right at the end. In fact, that's usually the better case. Know when to fold them. Sometimes you just get bad items, or you know that you can get better ones at a next set. Like in this example here, I get I forget which items I have, but I have some decent items, but they're not speed items, which is what I really want. I know that if I do this Y line, I can drop several places, get this double, and get some really good items so I can clutch out the next checkpoint. Know when to fold them. Know when to walk away. This one is more about getting the items in the first place. You gotta know when, oh shoot, somebody's in front of me going for that double that I really want. I'm probably not gonna get it. Just gotta go for that single. Getting a single is always better than getting nothing. So you gotta know when to fold on going for a certain set of item boxes and switch targets at the last second to get a different set. Those are my 5 basic things. If you're looking for more advanced tips, again, YouTube pleasantries down below. And this stuff alone isn't going to get you to 10k VR. I don't think anybody's at 10k VR yet, but future-proofing this video. Yes, the conclusion of this video. Okay, I hope that these tips can find use or can help you out in these knockouts, and hopefully, if you keep them in mind, you can get some better results for sure. All right, thank you very much, everybody. Have a blessed day.